Taurus, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. In this video, we're going to go over the major planetary aspects and transits that are going to impact, or how they're going to impact, your natal sun for this week. And this week is April 20th through April 26th. If you want to know what I'm reading, it's all my notes, baby, that I took on you. Now, how do I know where your natal suns are? I don't. I know they're in Taurus. That's all I know. But what I do is I'll break it down and I'll measure the aspects through the decans. And decans are groups of 10 degrees within each zodiac sign. So every zodiac sign has 3 of them. So if your natal sun is located somewhere between 0 and 9 degrees Taurus, you are a Taurus 1. If your natal sun is located between 10 and 19 degrees, you're Taurus 2. And if your natal sun is located somewhere between 20 and 29 degrees, you are Taurus 3. Now, if you're really confused and you're like, what are you talking about degrees? All I know my birthday is Taurus. Okay. You don't have to go get your natal chart right now. I will give you the correlating dates. They're not exact because the dates do change. The most accurate way is to actually just get your natal chart. They're free, by the way. You can just search them online. A whole bunch of websites pop up, free natal chart. And all you'll need is your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth place. And you plug that information in and it pops out a perfect natal chart for you. Yeah, so you can either get that done or definitely just listen to this reading. Like I said, I'll give you the estimate of the correlating dates. But we're going to start real broad at first, right? The big things that are impacting everybody. And then we're going to go into, whittle it down to the specifics that you should be paying attention to. And then I'll get into the actual decans and how they're interacting with your personal suns, okay? There's a lot happening this week. So the 20th is the new moon solar eclipse. Early in the morning. I guess technically for some people it was on the 19th, but you're definitely still feeling those effects. This was a very special new moon because it was a double moon, which is the second new moon in any zodiac sign. So it's basically only happens every 3 years or so when the moon conjuncts the sun twice in the same zodiac sign. That's when it happens. And we've done it twice in Aries now. So we're like new beginning, damn straight new beginning, that kind of energy. Now, why was it also special? There's a solar eclipse happening. If you were in Australia or parts of India, you'll get to see the whole spectacular. But up where I live in the United States, it's dark. It's nighttime, so there's no way we're going to see it at all. But really special. This kind of solar eclipse doesn't actually happen a lot because most are either one or the other, like an annular, which is that bright ring. It looks like there's a bright ring because the moon doesn't cover all the sun, or a total eclipse when the moon does cover the whole sun. This is both. This starts out, because of the way the earth is turning, it starts out annular, it expands to total, and then it goes back to annular again. Totally awesome. And if you're in a location, wear your protective eye care, but definitely get it on tape, because this is some great stuff, and it's going to be spectacular. I would love to see it. Feel free to send me videos or links to videos of it. I would love it. Anyway, this new moon, that's the solar eclipse. This new moon is also pretty darn special because of the solar eclipse, yes, but also because it is square to Pluto and conjunct Jupiter while it's happening. So can you say explosion? Like, hell yeah, we're gonna get a new start. Heck yeah, like we're not taking no for an answer. You know, we're just gonna basically put a cannonball through the prison wall and let everybody out. It's just a sense of, I am breaking out. I am doing this. This is a new start. I'm tired of the crap. Like that kind of energy. It's relentless. It's ruthless, and it is unavoidable. It's just really powerful. It's a powerful breakthrough. So a great time to manifest something new for certain. We also have the sun an hour later going into the zodiac sign of Taurus. So the sun is transiting. We're entering Taurus season. We're starting a whole new season. This is fantastic. Taurus sun is, stability. It's all about bringing light to what's on the surface and, maybe what needs to be shaken up or quaken up or changed, certainly. But basically, it's stability, it's sensuality, it's earthly pleasures, it's home, it's maintaining, it's honoring, it's traditional. It's a really beautiful energy, and yeah, it's springtime. So welcome the sun into Taurus. This is a kind of unique Taurus season though, because oh my God, it is jam-packed, and all of you are going to be experiencing this because there's so much energy in Taurus. The moon comes into Taurus like the same day with the sun. You already got Mercury and Uranus there. The North Node is there. It's just a jam-packed Taurus, and there's so much energy. It might get a little overwhelming for you. We also have Mercury going into retrograde. So on the 21st, Mercury is officially in retrograde. Today on the 20th, you're already feeling it because it's stationary. I've been feeling it for the whole time. It was slowing down for at least the last week. So Mercury is in retrograde, and it goes into retrograde, get this, sextile to Mars and conjunct Uranus. So once again, kaboom. This is not an ordinary Mercury retrograde. It is exacerbated by Uranus. It's going to cause more surprises, and it's going to be bigger and attached to bigger tech than we frickin' realize. There's also a sense of sextile to Mars means it's got extra energy and extra opportunity. Do your worst, that kind of energy. So maybe it's gonna actually help us make some progress, because we need to break out and break through, or break something that needs to have a spotlight on it, right? So big times, big changes, just saying. Now you're a Taurus, so your ruling dignitary is Venus. So you should always keep track of where Venus is, because there's going to be a general theme to your life based on what zodiac sign Venus is in. Venus is currently in Gemini. She's been there for a little while now. She's going to move between 11 and 16 degrees Gemini. What does that mean for you? Well, by 4:23, Venus is going to be sextile to Chiron, and basically all week long she says a square to Pluto, which is an irritating and frustrating. She's confronting things that scare her, right? There's a sense of she's confronting things that scare her. Because she needs to heal, and anything sextile to Chiron is an opportunity to heal by facing those fears. Since Venus is in Gemini, it could have to do with education, it could have to do with friends, fixing wounded friendships, or what wounds from friendships did to you. It's not the most comfortable, but this is definitely a time to heal. It's not just there to hurt. That sextile to Chiron is absolutely going to help you see beauty in the pain and realize there's some sort of inspired productivity from the pain, whether it's the suffering or what the experience taught you, or just maybe it's deeper compassion or empathy. All of these things are growing now from confronting, right, that says a square to Pluto, the pain that you tried to ignore, or the dark things that you tried to ignore. Well, you can't ignore them now, and it's good because it's there at just the right time. It's there at just the right time to be used for healing with that sextile to Chiron. So that's Venus. Let's talk about your natal suns, okay? So, actually, let's go through what's happening in Taurus. The North Node is at 4 degrees all week long. The sun is going to move between 0 and 5 degrees from April 20th through April 26th. Mercury and Uranus. Now, Mercury goes retrograde at 15 degrees Taurus, which is dead center Taurus. And then it's going to retrograde by the end of the week back to 14 degrees. And then Uranus is going to move direct. It's moving direct. Uranus is direct from 17 to 18 degrees Taurus. But by the end of the week, Mercury and Uranus will still be in a conjunction. And the moon is going to travel between 0 and 29 degrees Taurus between the 20th and the 22nd. So the moon will be impacting you guys for a little bit of extra emotion thrown in there. The moon is actually very, very happy in Taurus. The moon has like a contentment to it in Taurus. So it's really not as bad when it's in Taurus, kind of very, very happy there. So let's see how it's impacting each of you and how all of this going on in Taurus is impacting you. Taurus 1, and that's basically if you are an April Taurus. If you're born at the end of April, you're a Taurus 1. The sun and the moon are going to conjunct your natal suns on the 20th. Okay? So sometime between the 20th and the 21st, all of you are going to get hit. But it's specifically those of you on the cusp of Aries that are going to get hit with the sun and the moon at the same time, both of them conjuncting your natal sun at the same time. What does that mean? An understanding of the self, a completion and a wholeness and a fulfillment of what you are and who you are. A real, whole, complete understanding of you, like feeling really good and really complete. Really confident about all aspects of who you are. So you get a little push there in the beginning of this week to just feel a little extra. It's just a solidness. It's a solid, it's well-rounded. It's complete, feeling complete. We also, all week long, you guys will be conjunct the sun, which is courage. There's sun conjunct sun, there's courage, there's stamina, there's knowing what your life purpose is. There's a real sense of confidence. I mean, this is a great time to show your confidence to the world. You will be very sunshiny and sparkly. Naturally have a natural charisma and attractiveness to you all this week. You will, and you'll have a really deep kind of personal, complete sense of self really on the 20th. All week long, your natal suns are square to Pluto. That's actually a powerful thing. What it means is that you're relentless at moving forward and you're not going to take no for an answer. And yes, this can clash with people and they'll even feel it. No, they'll know you're not going to let anything get in your way. It's less ambition than it is just absolute certainty, and you're just going to, like Pluto, come in like a wrecking ball. Sometimes with Pluto, square, there is a sense of getting obsessed about things or being a little too relentless, and that's just definitely something that you might want to look out for. But if you use this energy to drive yourself forward, and with the conjunction to the sun, it's like you just know. There's just a certainty there, especially for things that have to change, things that have to end. So there's this sense of, if you haven't had the courage or certainty to end things so that new things can start, this is when it happens, Taurus. And it's coming in like a wrecking ball. Just letting you know. You also have a sextile to Saturn, though, which is extremely helpful because it means that there's opportunities, especially in your career. Really a huge push forward, a huge dynamic change when it comes to your career or like what you're building out into the world. Rules, getting along with authority figures, all those things are on your side right now. Great opportunity. The square with Pluto and the sextile with Saturn, you're going to be experiencing that for the rest of this year. So that's major breakthroughs and major progress and certainty, like definite certainty when it comes to where your career is moving and what you're going to be, or where you're headed. And of course there is, because your natal suns have been conjunct the North Node, they've been also long-term aspect opposite the South Node. So there is a sense of, I don't want to go back there. You know, I don't want to go back there. It's not that I don't accept where I'm coming from, but I'm just done. I need to really connect with where I'm going. So it's really future focused, and the energy favors your progress this week. Okay, Taurus 2s. Basically on the 21st, you're going to get hit with the moon. Your natal sun's conjunct the moon. It's beautiful, actually. When the moon conjuncts your natal sun, there's really no problem with it at all. It's actually really wonderful. A sense of wholeness and completeness, like your whole self is in whatever decision that you make. But you guys are also conjunct to the Mercury-Uranus conjunction, and you're conjunct to Mercury when it goes into retrograde. This might be the safest place for you. But it's definitely, it's almost like you're at the epicenter of this retrograde. So whatever collapses or implodes, you might have some insight into why it is happening, understanding it. And I think we're all really lucky that it's happening in Taurus, because it should be comprehensive. You know, Mercury in Taurus is pragmatic to a fault. It's definitely, it's not expect the unexpected. It's things that you would expect to break, but then we have Uranus. So no, it's going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you, but it's not going to be difficult to understand when it happens. That kind of energy, right? Also conjunct to Mercury, Uranus. This is brilliant energy. It's almost like you're at the epicenter because you have brilliance. There's brilliance to you. Your mind is working so clever and so correct that if there's anything with retrograde, it's because there's something that somebody missed, and you'll be able to find it. And then you have your Venus is kind of blindside because it's in Gemini in the second decan. So there's a sense of maybe that's not even what you're paying attention to right now. Your natal suns are sextile Mars all week, though. Sextile to Mars just means extra stamina. It means a sense of progress and moving forward, movement, how you move. Now, Mars is in Cancer, so you're moving a little bit more sensitively, and around the 21st, you're going to be conjunct the sun. So there's almost a sense of you'll know how to handle this through empathy and compassion. You'll have an understanding of it that doesn't really need words for you to understand. Your intuition will be really on point for you to get things done, and maybe even deal with certain family issues or move ahead if you have plans for building a family. And then we have Taurus 3s. You ready? It's the 22nd that the moon will conjunct your natal suns. And then you have a couple, it's pretty light for you guys this week, though there could be that extra sense of awareness and understanding on the 22nd as the moon is very happy in Taurus, so it's always kind of a delightful guest. But for long term, your natal suns are sextile to Neptune and square to Saturn, but only if you're born at the cusps, and only if you're born at the cusps trine to Pluto. So especially for those of you born at the cusps, there's definitely a sense of dynamic change that clashes with the expected, and that's going to go on for a couple of years, or at least the next year when you're square to Saturn. Now Neptune, that's going to go on for a couple of years. This is brilliance. Like Neptune is sextile to all of you. It's going to be there a long time, a couple years more, or maybe 3 years more. A sextile to Neptune is beautiful energy. We're talking like the creativity of Mozart. Like there's just an extraordinary understanding of really how to use your intuition and how to connect with God to create and manifest something in reality. Sextiles are all about productivity, so you're not going to get lost in the Neptunian nebulousness. You're going to be able to use it, manifest it, and bring stuff to life. Because of the square to Saturn, it might seem like it's not, it doesn't make any sense, and it breaks the rules of gravity, but you'll find a way. You'll find a way to make it happen. Like, that's the level of awesomeness and creativity that you will be experiencing over the next couple of years. And yes, that's right in alignment and harmony with Pluto, that wants to change things and wants to make room for new stuff. So you'll be right at the cutting edge of that, Taurus. And I'm not surprised, because Uranus has been sitting in your belly for so frickin' long. Of course you're going to be. You have to. It's almost like Taurus has to be the change now. The traditional systems have to be the change now. It's the only way that we can push forward, right? I know that's kind of like bigger, but for you guys, there's just a real sense of brilliance about it for the next couple of years. And like I said, as far as this week, no big visitors except for that moon on the 22nd. So you let me know in the comments below how everything is going with you guys. I love you like crazy. And I hope you'll join me on Born Without Boundaries Tarot to watch your week ahead tarot card reading. Be sure to subscribe here so that you can help the channel grow. And I'll see you.